In today's video, we're going to be going over all the bosses in expert mode for Inkwell Isle 1 of Cuphead. Hope you guys enjoy. So, starting off with our loadout, we're going to be using Crackshot and Roundabout for most of our damage, just because Crackshot is really easy to use. And then the super I like is the Ghostly Barrage, just because it gets the most amount of damage fairly easily. And then we'll be using Astral Cookie to play as Miss Chalice, just to give us double jump, parry dodge, and then the extra health are all really nice. First boss is the Root Pack. It's pretty simple, probably the easiest boss in my opinion on expert. The main difference with this first phase of the potato is he shoots his attacks a lot quicker. Every fourth thing he shoots out is parryable, so you may as well parry that just for the extra amount of EX. Next up we got the Onion, also pretty easy. The tears just come down a little bit quicker than normal mode, but you should be able to dodge those pretty easily and get this part of the fight done. And then finally we have the Carrot. He's probably the hardest out of the three for the Root Pack. He just shoots his little carrots at you and then shoots his beam a lot quicker than on normal mode, but using Crackshot you should be able to lock onto the mini carrots pretty easily and just shoot straight up and he should be dead pretty quick. The next boss we got is Goopy Le Grande. He's pretty easy as well. The main thing you just want to look out for on this first phase is he jumps a little bit quicker than on normal. When he does that little punch attack, I like to crouch down under it, just because it's easier to dodge than moving out of the way, and you can keep shooting him when you're crouched. But as long as you're strafing back and forth, you should be able to do this first phase really easily. Also may as well parry when he does that in between phases for just the extra super energy. Phase 3, this fight is also really easy. He just turns into a tombstone like normal and starts strafing back and forth, slamming down every couple seconds, but it's only a little bit faster than normal and it's pretty easy to dodge. Just keep shooting with Crackshot and just move out of the way when he does that slam attack and you should be good. Next up we got Ribby and Croaks. Whenever he does that little firefly attack, I like to just shoot up with Crackshot and it should lock on pretty easily. He also does the punch attack in the first phase, which he doesn't do on normal mode, so look out for that. The easiest way to dodge that is he starts shooting one at the bottom, and then you crouch under the next 3 shots, and then you jump over the last one, and he does it in that pattern every time, and you should be good to just always dodge that, as long as you dodge in that pattern. So just keep shooting Crackshot at him at this point, and he should pretty quickly transition into phase 2. The main difference between this phase 2 and in expert mode versus normal mode is he does the punch attack when the wind is blowing, which can be kind of hard to dodge. He starts low, then middle, then high, so always jump over the first one and then crouch under the next 2, and then you should be good with phase 2. Phase 3 is probably the hardest part of this fight, just because the coins come out of the machine significantly faster than on normal mode. I try to bait the coins to go down, and then I like to double jump over and then parry, just to make sure I don't get hit by the coins. This attack is pretty easy, probably the easiest of the 3 that he does in my opinion. You just jump and then crouch between the laser beams. The tiger's probably the hardest, just because the timing at the later part of this attack is so hard, is so precise. You kind of just have to do your best and time it perfectly and jump through each one between the ball and the platform and try not to get hit. It should take about 3 of these slot machine phases to finish the fight, but once you do that, you should be good. Next up, we got Cagney Carnation. He likes to do this little seed attack a lot at the beginning of the fight. Just make sure you're parrying whenever he does the pink seed, because if that hits the ground, it spawns into a little annoying guy on the ceiling who's hard to kill. So I like to parry the seed every single time just to make sure he doesn't spawn in. But just make sure you're shooting your crack shot. It'll lock onto the other enemies and kill them for you pretty easily, and then just damaging Cagney whenever there's no enemies out. This first phase lasts kinda long, but as long as you're just dodging the seeds and making sure parrying, you should be okay. After the first phase, he shoots out his little boomerang and little seeds come out of him that he's going to shoot at you. Just jump over the boomerang and then dodge the little seeds, stay on the left side of the screen, and you should be able to just double jump over everything pretty easily. Whenever he does that big attack with his face, just go underneath it or above it. It's pretty easy to dodge. You can even go above it if it's on the top. It's pretty easy to dodge. And then we're in the final phase. He does his little roots a little bit quicker. Just make sure you're always in the middle so you can dodge to the left or right or stay in the middle if need be. And then his little saws you can just single jump over. You can parry them too when they're pink. Just give you a little bit of extra super energy. And just make sure you're always shooting crack shot so whenever you're dodging, you get free damage into. But that's just pretty much all there is to it. And then finally we have Hilda Berg. In my opinion, the plane levels on expert mode are some of the hardest levels. Just because the plane is a little bit finicky and the attacks are significantly harder to dodge in the plane. This was probably the fight that took me the longest and was the hardest for me on expert mode for Inkwell 1. Whenever she does that little spinny lightning attack, just be sure to dodge in a circle around it. Go in mini plane mode just so you can dodge a little bit quicker, and then always be shooting. She'll periodically spawn these planes at you, these little enemy planes. There's purple ones which shoot 1 cannonball at a time at you, and then the green ones shoot like 5 or 6 in like a barrage. Try to focus down the green ones first because they shoot more cannonballs. Purple ones you can shoot too. I just don't really because they're pretty easy to dodge, just their 1 bullet. And then pretty soon he'll transition into this Cupid phase, which is probably his hardest or second hardest phase in my opinion, just because the tracking on the stars can be so strong. You just kind of want to strafe down around the arrow and then shoot the stars because they are shootable. But that's probably the hardest phase before the final phase. When she turns back, just keep shooting her, shooting the ads, dodging the tornadoes, parry the cannonballs if you can, just for extra super energy. And then when she transitions into her final phase, switch to bombs just to get that extra damage on her. And then she'll do these little star attacks. I try to stay towards the middle of the screen just because they can be up high and down low. It's just easier to dodge them. And then she'll do her UFO attack. Whenever she does this, she has 2 different UFOs. The yellow ones, you want to bait out the attack and then go through them. And the red UFOs, you want to go through them right away. And that's the secret to dodging them. Yellow is caution, stay back. Red, go right through. And then she'll also do a little face attack periodically, so I like to stay towards the left edge of the screen during this phase. Just keep shooting her, and she should be dead within 20 seconds or so.